Hi, Aquarius. Hello, my little water-bearing air sign. That's right, air sign, not water sign. Lots of people forget that and leave it up to Aquarius to be ahead of their time and completely try to change our concept of what water language should be, right? Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is your reading for the month of May 2019, and I'm up, I'm refreshed. Yay! I attempted to do your reading last night, and my body was not having it. Okay? Just wasn't. Anyway, so welcome. Let's jump right in. Oh, also, I have a fan running, so it might be a little bit loud in the background, and you know what that is. Okay, boy, 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 am I glad I waited. Dear God. Okay. Um, wow, yeah, I'm glad I waited. All right. The reason why I waited is because I'm seeing a lot of um, information coming in about your situation at different levels. So I don't even know where to jump in. Okay, let's jump in and say, if this reading resonates for you, Aquarius, or actually anybody watching the video, really, if this resonates for you, then in this lifetime one of the things you came for is to learn about illusion, okay? Illusion in the sense of how our perceptions of life and our perceptions of some things in life, just basically the lens that we decide to, how can I, okay. When I say illusion, it means taking a look at the lens that we're wearing. Now, we may be consciously wearing a certain lens, or we may be unconsciously wearing it. Basically, the lens is just the way that you see your world, how you choose to see your world. And everybody is wearing a lens, right? And I would move to say that most, if not almost all of us, which it seems to be in the same category, we don't know what our lenses are. And in fact, as we move through life, we continue to define, and if we can get it together, refine the lenses that we use. Oh, look at that. Just the illusion card totally moved, right? Which means, yeah, I got it. All right. That being said, when you came down to earth, Aquarius, I think that there was this idea. I think you were happily doing whatever you do on the other side, doing your thing, and you were approached with the idea of coming down to earth, getting your feet wet a little bit, exploring a little bit, and then coming back to the other side. Okay, so this probably wasn't even in this lifetime. It could have been in this lifetime, where the idea was like, hey, forgive me, guys. I'm trying to articulate things that really it's just I can't even articulate it in the language, but I'm doing my best. So it's almost like in the past, before you came into this lifetime, somebody came to you and said, "Hey, how about you work on this theme of illusion? And here is one way that you can approach it. You can come down, get your feet wet a little bit, do your thing, come back, and we're going to adjust your energy, adjust your perspective. What did you see when you were there? Tell us what you saw so we can assess how much of your perception is what was actually happening." And then you went into meditation, you went into learning on the other side still to adjust yourself, okay? So what I'm seeing is this first step, getting into kind of just explore, and then coming back and telling your guides, this is what I saw, this is the life I led, this is how I viewed my world, and them helping you to adjust that perspective. Now, I don't want to say that that's, for some of you, it could be because you're trying to take corrective action from past lifetimes. Maybe you're like, dude, I just was getting these lifetimes wrong. What was going on? I think something's wrong with my perception, so I need to go back in, come back out, and let's see what's going on with that. So it could have been a decision to do that based on a decision to assess, or it could have been because it's just the beginning of your studies in illusion, because people are often working on their own themes. Like some person may be working on justice for like a slew of lifetimes. Another person maybe, and and through that theme of justice, exploring all avenues, being the criminal, being the court person, being the police officer, being the one who doesn't get justice, being the one who got away and didn't get pulled up, all sorts of stuff. You're just exploring the theme, right? So in this case, illusion could be the theme that you're exploring, and you could be at the beginning, and obviously in the beginning you always take assessments, right? So that's the realm of a personal reading. We don't know how you got into this setup here, but either way, let's summarize this, Aquarius, because your reading is starting off highly conceptual. So just a quick summary. If this reading resonates with you, what I'm seeing is that whatever, on a macroscopic scale, I'm seeing a lifetime situation where you came in, you got your feet wet, you died or whatnot, and then they helped you assess, and then boom, you're back in life again now. Okay, excuse me, the heat's coming on, so it might be a little bit louder. Now, why is that? Why did you do that? It's so that you can work on illusion, so that you can understand the theme of illusion, and basically that means so you can understand how your perceptions can be wildly off and how they can shape the way that you live your life, right? Now, let's bring that down a level to this lifetime and to now. What I'm seeing is that, Aquarius, you have gone through something recently where it's kind of like this. Okay? Does that make sense? Like you got a slap, and I don't mean a slap on the wrist. I mean, because the wrist is right here, and a slap on the wrist means, it wasn't a big deal. No, I think you went through something recently where, and I say this, you guys know me, I keep it real, you fell flat on your face. It's almost like it was the second time out, because I see you having gone through training. I think in this lifetime there was a moment, and if you check the archives for my Aquarius readings, you'll see that time where you were going through training spiritually, through your guides. Like it's literally a training program. They were training you to, I guess depends on you. That's the realm of a personal reading, but to better understand the world. You were getting codes, you were doing a lot of downloads. So maybe in the past, let's say, maybe you may remember 2 months ago, you may have been having a lot of dreams, you may have been having odd encounters, and for those of you who can kind of put two and two together, you may realize that, oh my God, yeah, I was totally being trained. The universe was all up in my face at that time. I feel like fate stepped in, destiny was taking over, I wasn't as free, I couldn't do all this stuff. And that's because they had you on a very strict regimen, okay? So by now, Aquarius, you should know whether this reading is for you or not, okay? But just in case, you can keep listening. Now, but I think that your training program was over. Your training program was over, and we see that here. Here's you going through the training, here's you, them putting you through it in the physical world. Like, so for example, you would have gotten information subconsciously, telepathically. If you were able to pick up on it, you will remember that. You may have dreamt that information. You were getting a lot of information at that time from your spirits. But at the same time, they had you in the waking world, having interactions with people that helped you to ground to ground that information. It helped you to practice that information, and it helped you to experience that information. And boom, that's it. But I think that when that happened, I think the thing is that you made a mistake. They let you out. They were like, okay, training program done. Now go out and here's your assessment. Let's see how you're going to do. And I don't know what it is that you did, Aquarius. It could have been with somebody else. It could have been that you were whatever it was, you were in a position where your choices were very, very important. And I think that you may have made a misstep. And so I see that they called you back in. So you may be going through a situation where you recently had a breakup, or you and somebody had to split, or you had to leave a job, or you got fired, or just something where there was this pulling apart, because I'm seeing them pull you back in to retrain you, to continue your training, because, and I hate to say this, but I think that you maybe didn't fully demonstrate to them that you were able to, I guess, that maybe there was still some learning left to do. But at the same time, this is where it is, because your reading is on different levels. It's like coming in like waves. So forgive me if this seems all over the place. You know, usually I'm not so all over the place. Interesting. Look, fragmented, right? But what I'm seeing is, at the same time, while this was clearly a misstep for you, at the same time it serves a higher purpose. Like it's following that same dynamic that I showed you, that I talked to you earlier about, where you try, you come back, you adjust. You go back out, you try it. How's my lens now? You adjust. How's my lens now? You adjust. And so I think, I mean, I don't want to say this because I'm not necessarily seeing this, but it's coming to me that maybe in your lifetime, if you look in the past, you might have been going through this cycling quite a few times, where you head out, you do something, you kind of mess it up. It seems like now you have to take a back seat. The thing falls apart. You have to take a back seat. You learn more. You maybe, for some of you, that back seat may be going on retreats. That back seat may be you taking classes. It may be something, but there's this connection, this dance between education and practice, education and practice, education and practice. And sometimes that back and forth is because there was a mistake made, and sometimes it's just to, okay, great job, now let's come back and let's tune you up a little bit more and continue moving forward. But in this case, I do feel that it may have been because you may have made a misstep. And I see here you going back into this place of receiving information from spirit. So at this time, Aquarius, and throughout the month of May, you may find yourself really, 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 really feeling very connected to spirit. And even if some of you feel disconnected from spirit, I do see that you will actually be connected and will be receiving information. But I also see you going through a physical part of your learning as well. So you'll be being put through your paces. You may be going through situations where it might seem like, this again. Why does this keep happening? Why do I keep having somebody betray me? I'm so tired of this. Why? It's because that very person is just your lesson at this time. It's the practice part of that lesson that they're still trying to get you to refine or to get right. Yeah, so I feel that, Aquarius, you may be feeling kind of like bored right now. Like, why is this happening? Why do I feel like my life is boring? Nothing's going on. It's like, it's weird. First I'm doing nothing, but then I have all this drama, and now I'm like back to doing nothing. And you know, that's most likely why. And I really feel that, Aquarius, some of you may be perceiving this ebb and flow, so to speak, but some of you may not, and you may be experiencing it as boredom. Okay, so what I'm seeing, though, for the month of May in particular is the continuation of this cycle. But I feel that what happened is that you, again, like I said, recently you were out there and you may have made some steps that hurt people or hurt yourself or just whatnot. And I see that what happened as a result is you being pulled back in, to say a little bit, it seems a little bit like being sidelined, and them healing you, pulling these things out, but also forcing you to take a back seat, forcing you to look at, excuse me, what happened, and forcing you in particular to look at perception. Okay, so forgive me if that was like weird, if it didn't come together for you in the narrative, if you got lost a little bit in that, feel free to email me. It just shows that you're moving up and down in your field, Aquarius, as far as what's going on. You've got, what that means is like on the lower levels and the higher levels, there's this dialogue that's going on, which is lovely. It's this dialogue that just keeps going on back and forth, and it's gorgeous. There's a lot of mirroring as well. I could see on the lower levels like mistakes being made, but at the upper levels they don't appear as mistakes at all. So imagine trying to explain that. It's all for the greater good. All right. Now, so you may find yourself really looking at perception. In some questions you might be asking is, what happened? What did I do wrong? In particular, a question that you may be afraid to ask, if this reading resonates with you, a question you may be afraid to ask is, did I do a bad thing? Okay? Now, that's a litmus test for you. Did I do a bad thing in this specific situation? And if this reading is for you, you'll know what the situation is, okay? Because it was a big one. Did I do a bad thing? Now, the litmus test is if you are completely in the dark about whether you did a bad thing or not, then definitely you're being sidelined to look at the situation. They're helping you to see it and adjust your lens. But I think that you know that there were some missteps on your end. And so what you should also be asking yourself is, where were those missteps? How did I misstep? Because I'm seeing in that card over there that there's this feeling of a little bit of shame and a little bit of, well, I say a little bit, but it could be a lot, right? But there are just these feelings of shame and guilt, and how much you feel is dependent upon you and your individual circumstances. But I'm seeing that in your field. Now, you could see a child, when a child does something and they know that they've done something, you see their head looking down and their eyes looking up, their shoulders hunched. And we see it with pets too, when they try to act like they did not tear up all that toilet paper. You're standing at the toilet paper, at the feet of the toilet paper, you did it, right? But there's this feeling there. And so, and I see for some of you, you feel afraid of the universe. I see you like, all right, universe, do your worst, and you're giving the universe this club to just club you with. And so I'm seeing that some of you are really feeling like you're in a place where it's like, I done wrong, I done bad, and now you're afraid of what's to come. But I don't want you to be afraid of what's to come, because part of this is all kind of part of your programming. Yes, you made mistakes, but I think at your level, there's no way for you to know which one of those things were actually mistakes and which one just seemed like mistakes because of our vantage point at this level. Okay, so that's kind of like to help you lift your spirits a little bit, because when you get into the realm of learning, like things that seem like mistakes were not actually mistakes. They were purposefully put there for you to bump up against, and for you to feel inclined to make a choice. And so we just don't necessarily know where we should look in our actions to determine whether we've been good or bad. Does that make sense? I hope so. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, again, I'm seeing in this card, Aquarius, you're this I forgot what these are called. I know some of you are like shouting it at the screen maybe, but I forgot what these are called. These woodland creatures that are half man, half goat. Dear God, it's going to come to me later. But anyway, you're that person here in this card, and how I see you is you coming in, dancing a little bit, then coming off screen. And I feel this has been done 3 times. So with this situation, maybe this is like the 3rd time you've been dancing with this person, or the 3rd time you've gone through this situation with whatever it is. But I'm seeing that you keep going in and coming out, going in and coming out. What's actually happening is you're going in for the experience. It's like, okay, did my learning, go in, practice, come out. How'd I do? How do I do this time, guys? And they give it to you. They give you the results, right? Because these go together. All right, guys, be right back. Relationship with this person. Okay, back. How'd I do, guys? What's my score? Is my perception right? Did I get it right? Are my actions on point? Like, help me out. I just want to be better. Oh, okay, I got to do this. Okay, I got to learn this. This is what I have to do. Clean that up. All right, I'm ready. Put me back in. Go. Right? So I see you going in, and look at, you're having different results each time. Now, again, this could be on the lifetime level. So what that means is this would not be your first rodeo, so to speak. This is not the first lifetime where you're with this person, for example, or with this situation, for example. It could signify you coming in, going back out, learning, coming back in, dying, going back out, learning, going back, right, across lifetimes. But it also shows in this lifetime, you may have been in and out with this person or this situation more than one occasion. And it's, again, that mirroring that's happening on a macro and a micro levels. And I think it's pretty interesting because this Hierophant card is coming across to me as this union card. So for some of you, This may have to do with a twin flame relationship for sure. Because I'm seeing another partner here ready. The partner's ready. They're just waiting. They've got their candle. And meanwhile, you're in and out trying to get this last minute learning going. And I see it being like a rushed situation. You're really trying to rush it and do it. And so they're waiting while you learn. Okay, continuing on, what I'm seeing here is that I definitely feel that the results are in from the last time that you went out, Aquarius. And I'm seeing that we have this card here, right? We all know that card. And what this tells me is that, once again, it's pretty redundant. When you went out there, I think that there was a relationship or some type of situation that you had the chance to participate in. And I think that you were not at your best. I think that you made some decisions that didn't come out from a loving place. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't love this person or you don't have love and compassion in this situation, whether it's a business situation or whatnot. But what I'm seeing is that if that was your test, I see that you didn't do as well because there's some things that you still need to work on. And I see that, see, this is the cup of love being given elsewhere. That shows me that you necessarily weren't coming from a place of love. Your actions weren't loving. And so I see that you're this little crab here, cute, and you are being asked to step away from that situation and come back and learn some more. But I think that through this learning, you're going to have a victory, right? Eventually, for sure. For sure. Because, oopsies, I see this victory sword here. I see this victory sword here. To me, it looks like a victory sword. You've got this sword. You've got this information. You've got this this eagle with this wreath coming in. And look, you're following. Look at the direction of the swords. They're mirroring each other. You've decided to follow this eagle. So what that shows me is that you know on some level that there were some missteps made and you're willing to put in the hard work. Now, let's look forward to this person. There's someone else in your chart that's coming up. Now, this person represents the other person in this connection or the other party in this connection. Now, if this is a twin flame situation, it definitely represents your twin. And it shows me two things. Number one, it shows me what they're going through, and it also shows me you being able, and I almost said finally being able to, but it shows me you being able to put yourself in their place so that you can experience what they're experiencing at this time in reaction to or in response to the way that you treated them, or in response to what went down between the two of you. And what I'm seeing, I'm just going to talk about it as if it's another person, right? What I'm seeing for this other person is that this person is coming across as very laid back, not laid back like, it didn't bother me, but more like very centered, very in their space, very meditative. And I'm seeing it's like they're sitting here and like you becoming them for that moment, right? So you're able to understand what that could mean is that it could mean that you will meet up with them, make a connection with them. But actually what I'm really seeing it means is that you're finally able to understand or have the perception to feel what it is that they went through, right? I'm also feeling that for some of you, you are Aquarius or you're the cross watcher, and if you're the cross watcher, then you experience this. You're the other person. You could see what this Aquarius did or just whatnot. But if you're the Aquarius and you're resonating with the other person, I think that would be like if you're resonating with this person, the person who was acted upon. It's very, very much a part of your spiritual lesson to feel or to be the recipient of this kind of action. Why? So that you can work on your theme of illusion and theme of perceptions. What better way to learn about an issue by seeing it than from seeing it from another perspective, right? Anyway, wow, your reading is super jumbly today. The energies. All right, let's continue. So, the other person, what I'm seeing that the other person is that they definitely are in a meditative space. They have decided to take an approach towards this connection where they can just easily kill it, right? To end this connection, I see the cement block hovering over this flower, which represents the relationship, right? And what I'm seeing more here is that you, Aquarius, it's like you're almost saying, I can't blame them. I don't blame them for wanting to stop this connection and for moving on because they feel that this connection no longer is bringing me any value, or even worse in your mind, Aquarius, that this connection failed to produce something of value. Because I think that you feel that this other person sees this connection as having value, but it never actively produced anything. And so part of you is like, well, I get that. Or more like all of you is like, I understand that they see this as a failed attempt to produce something, and that they're more than willing to move on, and that they kicked me to the curb, right? This is in your voice, Aquarius. This is what I'm feeling. Like they're more than ready to move on, and that they kicked me to the curb. You see the mirroring? This is that other person. Then that's you being told to leave. And as a result, Aquarius, you're feeling like, for some of you, this is a twin flame relationship. And even if you don't have that language, and I'm sure you have that language if you're watching this video, but you know it's a twin flame relationship, it's a special relationship, but you know that it's been eclipsed. But again, I want to tell you, this is a cycle. This is cyclical, okay? So for you, it may seem like it's over, it's never going to happen again, but look at this already. This rebirth, this new energy about to plop into that, whatever that is, life. So you may feel like, I'll never be with this person again. I'm bereft. Look at this. I have nothing left. Look at what I've produced. I suck, blah, blah, blah. This is what I'm feeling on the side of Aquarius. But I'm seeing that this is a down part of the cycle, obviously. And this new recharge is about to come in for you. I feel that you are going to be continuing on and or making your healing journey in the month of May. See, this is you moving on. Now, does that mean you'll be moving on from the relationship? I think it means you'll be, or whatever the situation is, I think it'll be moving on from this rocky area, that whatever that situation was, that tower moment that you had in the past with this person or with this group of people or just with this party. I see you moving on. I see you still carrying this cup of love or affinity for this other party, and I see you moving on in the interest of love. But look at the next card. When I say in the interest of healing. But look at this next card. It's you arriving on the shore somewhere, as the King of Cups, right? So again, that tells me that you're going to probably try to make another go at it. And you see this 69, okay, or maybe this Cancer symbol, right? Well, let's just go with the 69, because either way, it looks like twins, all right? So all of this stuff that's been happening is just all in the name of twinliness. So I wouldn't be surprised if you, the viewer, are on your twin flame journey. It just really seems that way here. And so I think you're going to get a chance to go back at it. But you see how he seems to be holding this dusting brush? You're going to have to do a lot of cleanup work, okay? You're going to have to do a lot of cleanup work this time for what happened. But I think you're more than up to it. Now, I don't know if you, Aquarius, if you watched my video for Aquarius some months ago. It's either under the monthlies and the weeklies, but I feel like I'm reading for the same collective, and I have been reading for the same collective of Aquarians since I started my YouTube channel. So I guess you can just go back and you might see in that reading the first card of these cards, because I usually have a mixture of cards, was this card. And this card was basically your spirit guides being your referee and blowing the whistle and saying, get back in here. Get back in here, Johnson. You know, what was that out there? Get back, hit the shower rooms. It's kind of like that. Like when that was shortly after your tower moment when they called you back in. You may remember that time because that was most likely when you had the falling out with whoever it is that's coming in through this reading. But here it is that he's coming back in again at the end here. Okay, that shows me that once you go through this process of gearing up for this second time around with this person or this situation, you're going to be at the beginning again. They're like, all right, come to the starting line. We're going to try this again, right? So you've been taking some time out in the month of April to really regroup, to really learn again, to really go through that training program. And now in the month of May, it's time to saddle up again. They're going to release you. And this time, when I say release you back into the field, right? And we see this here. Let me show you all of these. Let me show you this whole top row of cards because I think it's pretty significant. This is the cycle that you keep going through, Aquarius. You get the training, you get the idea, you get your syllabus, so to speak, and you take the classes, right? Spiritual classes. So this is you on the other side taking those classes while you are also living here on earth, the earthly plane. You could also be working on it during your sleep, right? See this 2-2? That's you working on these things. This is you during your daily life, putting these principles that you're learning into practice, having those interactions with the person down the street, at the supermarket, you know, in your relationships, your family, so that you can practice it. Boom, and in return you get information, you get something of value, because it's a moment where theory gets to meet practice, right? And then you fly back and you meet with your angels and guides, that's you, super cute, and you get assessed. They assess you, and you're like, how did I do? What happened? Well, we need to make some adjustments. This is what you're going to try differently. You go into a moment of meditation. You learn again. You look at what you've done. You look at how you've affected other people, right? You think about yourself. You think about your twin as well, right? A lot of this goes on the other side as you're here, but it also goes on here. How it may feel here on the earthly plane is that you may be like, oh, you know what? No, you guys go ahead. I think I just want to kick it. I just feel like kicking it at the crib these days. I don't really feel like going out. You may start doing more yoga, more solitary activities, more meditating, listening to music, turning inward. Those are all examples of you integrating whatever has been learned. And then also you going back out into the field with that new information, putting it into practice. So it's a cycle that just keeps going back and forth. And I think you can appreciate how you can see how this can go lifetime to lifetime, right? You before life, you learn, you come into life, you die, you get your assessments, you learn again on your own, you come back into life, right? But it also shows this cycle that you've been going through in the last few months. And probably, if you look further back, you can probably see this cycle being something that characterizes your life. So I guess maybe you may say, Aquarius, that if this reading resonates for you, you may find that your life is always in this roller coaster, up and down, right? But you're getting ready to go back out into this situation and go back out and experience again. If not with the same person, then the same theme with another party or another situation. Why? Because it's all about the learning. All right, it's all about the learning. And you are learning what again? Let's say it together. Perception. Yes, you're learning how your perceptions can have effects on the people around you. Now, you're also learning, the beauty of it is you're also getting real-time adjustments and readjustments and readjustments and readjustments and feedback and input and all this about your actions. And that is so awesome, because you're not just going to live your whole life and just live your whole life just misbehaving and doing all crazy stuff only to die and then get like, hey, you could have done this better. No, like, I just did this, what do you guys think? Okay, readjust. I did this, what do you guys think? And it's great. It means you're moving faster, you're thinking, you're learning. And you're about to gear up again. In the month of May, you're about to gear up again for this. Now, this card came out. It didn't come out like this. It came out like this. So if you came to this reading and part of you was wondering whether you would be necessarily reconciling and having a romantic situation all over again, and or being back to where things were before, I'm going to go ahead and say no. So even if you will make a connection again with this person, or with another person, but working on the same theme, I don't think things are just going to be hunky-dory again. I think it's going to be the beginning of talks, whether you want to say peace talks or whatnot, but you're not necessarily going to be like in a relationship and oh my god, we're back together again. At least not at this time. And I pulled these 4 cards, and I think they are significant. So if you've made it to the end of this reading, congratulations. Yeah, but take a look. What I'm seeing here is for the month of May, Aquarius, if this reading has resonated with you, I definitely want you to focus on this left column. On this left column, I'm definitely seeing a happy home, and I'm seeing somebody waiting there for you. So again, this could definitely be a twin flame situation. I feel that whatever this is somebody, whether it's somebody in your corner, whether it's a family member helping you through addictions, whether it's because addictions could have been this situation, this cycle here, right? Going back in, come back out. Really, that's the realm of a personal reading, right? I'm just interpreting it through the lens of a relationship here, but please use your better judgment. But whatever this is somebody who loves you. This is somebody who's waiting for you. And I don't mean waiting like they're just waiting in this house. No, they're doing their own thing. But I just feel like they see how this light, there seems to be a light there. They've left a candle running for you. But notice this person is not here. They're not there. They're not there. They're over here. You're going to have to work hard to get yourself back to that space. And I think that this person is receiving or this party or the situation is receiving information of its own to better handle you next time they see you, because, it takes 2 to tango, right? So I see that person doing their thing, but you're not out of their sight. They're keeping an eye on you. They really are. Now, whether or not they may seem that way, they definitely are. So keep that in mind, that there is somebody, there is a prize to work towards, and it's not just good health, it's love. But over here, what I'm seeing is you really need to stop with this. See this right here? As long as this is upright, this can't be upright. Okay? I mean, it can if this takes on another meaning, but in the way that the meaning is here, this is, I don't want to say it, I don't want to censor myself either, because words are very important in readings. They carry certain meanings for people. So I'm just going to say what comes to mind. This person comes across as like a dog in heat, okay? Now, a dog in heat, it's obsessive. Look at the eyes. First of all, I know some of you are like, dang, he's hot though. Okay, but I need you to focus, okay? Look at the eyes. This person is possessed almost. What is the possession for? What are you focusing on? For some of you, it could be drugs and addictive substances. For some of you, it's sex, right? For some of you, it's the nightlife. I'm hearing, I love the nightlife. I like to boogie. Or you know what the words are, whatever. The point is, I'm just seeing that, and it's dragging you down. It's very low energy, because it's all about sex. This comes across as very much first chakra. So look at this. They're saying you need to cut that out, right? Because this more tempered, look at this. This person's more tempered. They're relaxed, for crying out loud. Their shirt's buttoned up. God bless. We all like an open shirt. But those eyes, I mean, yeah, there's only, we like those eyes, okay? Those are bedroom eyes, right? Because that just means that, something's about to go down and we like it. But the way that, it's coming across in this video is not that. It shows me there's a slave mentality to something, and that thing needs to die, all right? That part of you, that aspect of you needs to be worked out, Aquarius. Why? So that you can become more tempered, so that you can be made ready for a greater part of yourself. It doesn't mean this part of you can't come out in the bedroom, right? but it just means that it's just two different energies altogether. Look at this person. They're waiting. Okay? So anyway, my point is that I'm going to go ahead and put this back up here. For the month of May, you are going to be working once again on a situation. You're going back out into the field. That's what I'm going to say. You're being let out back into the field. The question is simple, Aquarius. What have you learned? What can you demonstrate to spirit and to your higher self that you have learned? How much of it are you actively feeling? Because this has to be a feeling experiential thing. It's not one where you can be like, oh, I learned to treat people better. You know, like if you don't feel like treating people better, you're not going to do it. So it's one of those things where it's very real time. Okay? And just go out there, experience again, put your best foot forward, do your best, and just continue to work through it. As we're seeing here, eventually this part of you that needs to be, I want to say, exercised or cleared away is going to leave, but continue to chip away at it to do your best, all right? And try to get a hold of whenever this energy, whatever this energy I see is that takes you over, whenever that comes, they're saying nip it in the bud, because you see it you could see it here in this little rat here, this tail, like just nip it in the bud, okay? Don't let it get out of control. Yeah, because there are definitely different parts of you, Aquarius, that are vying for the driver's seat right now. And I think that you have to really ask yourself, what kind of, not only what kind of person do I want to be, because let's be honest, you want to be all those people, because those are all different aspects of you wanting control, but what kind of person do I want to be for this person, right? Let that person help you let that person be your litmus test. Let that person help you test yourself and judge yourself and measure yourself. Not because they're shouting at you saying, well, you this, that, I wish you were this, that. No, it doesn't even have to include them. Just think about the image of them. And, you know, because they look how lovely they look, right? Think about the image, whether it's the safe home with the family and the mom and dad still there, and you wanting to run the streets. Know that, wait, me wanting to run the streets is completely incompatible with me wanting to stay in that safe home where people love me. Right now, I acknowledge that that safe home where people love me is boring AF, right? But I know that it's what I have to work towards, because I know that's my barometer. Because when I start to see that life as not boring anymore, as not condescending, as not this, as not that, and when I start to actually want to have that life, that's when I'll know that I'm moving towards my goal and towards something that is healthy for me. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for you, Aquarius. And forgive me if it was all over the place. I hope I didn't lose any of you, but if you were meant to stay and hear it through, then you did, and so that releases me from worry. If you have any questions, guys, don't even trip, chocolate chips. Email me, okay? And if it's a question to clarify what came through, I'd be more than happy to write back to you. If it is a question that does require me to delve into your energy, of course, that's the realm of a personal reading, and we can take it from there as well. Also, if you do want a personal reading, I just want to let you know that right now, because I've just become insanely busy over the last month or two, since March, I've had to extend my wait list to 2 weeks. That's called cushion, baby. Cushion, just in case. All right? So, and those are business days, okay? 14 business days. All right. So thank you, guys. Mwah. I love you to death. Hit me up if you want me to clarify or just summarize or whatever. All right? Bye.